name is Rasha Shihadi. I am the program coordinator at the Man Like New Life Center. I'm responsible for the Aurora House program, which is part of the Man Like New Life Center program, as well as the Toronto United Mennonite Church. It's a conjoint project that aims to help women who had escaped human trafficking and domestic violence. I've been in this role for 1 year exactly now. So we do provide counseling services, case management. We connect them to resources in the community that could be of help, especially because these women usually have been controlled for a very long time. So they need some to develop their independent documents, papers, even to get to learn the basic life skills. So this is basically how we support them. Well, no, it exists, and it exists in a very massive way, and it's a very traumatic experience that women have to endure in silence most of the time because no one talks about it. Everybody thinks that it doesn't exist, but it does, and it exists a lot with women who are new. In Canada, newcomers who don't really know how to navigate the systems, they can be trapped in that. It does exist a lot in Indigenous people. It's quite common, and unfortunately, as well, these women have to go through a lot of systemic racism. So there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed that all contribute to a worse picture that is always mopped under the mat, the carpet. We just don't know about it, but it does exist, and it exists in great numbers. It's very important to highlight that Aurora House is a transitional housing, right? So it's not like we do day by day follow up and check on the residents. They live on their own, they live independently, and if they need support, we just come and support them. Basically, they are not in a crisis situation. They're allowed to stay in the house for 1 year. Throughout this year, if they go through any crisis, if they go through any, then we provide them with that. So in terms of prevention, these women are, we provide them with workshops, we provide them with awareness campaigns, and we've seen some good results so far. Most of the time, they start with the crisis line. They call crisis line, and they refer them to shelters, to available shelters. They stay there for a few months, usually. Most of the shelters, they allow people to stay for 3 to 6 months, and it depends on the status, right? So if it's a family, it's different from an individual herself. Most of the intake or referrals, they come from caseworkers. Because we don't have a structured environment, women have to live on their own. We cannot receive people in crisis, but we do provide them with resources in the community to go to support them with their crisis. We ask for an intake form. We review. We have intake panels that reviews this form, and we determine whether we have questions. We take it further to an interview with that person, and there's a pretty structured method to make sure that the person who comes here is going to really benefit from this kind of structure to live on their own until they have their final destination, their final housing, permanent housing. They can live on their own. They have a plan that they are working on, because it's very hard to live alone when you don't really have a structured plan. You're studying towards something. You are working towards a goal. So this is very, very important. We did have a lot of success stories at Aurora House. Since the establishment of this house, we have had the pleasure to serve over 150 women. A lot of them ended up with really good results. And I remember one of them who had really suffered, traumatic experience, human trafficking since childhood. Somehow she managed to, find the courage to break the cycle, to seek refuge in safe places, and now she's a great advocate to support women who have suffered or still suffering, and to bring awareness in their community about human trafficking. So yeah, again, this does exist, and these women just can be inspiring with their courage.